Hey family, welcome back to Kingdom South Plus, where we work the words of Jesus beyond Sunday. If this is your first time here, my name is Pastor Sean. I'm grateful that you're listening to this wherever you get your podcasts. To those who are listening, I'm also recording video, which will be made available to those who are part of my Inner Circle community on Substack, which you can become a part of at chandrier.com. Yesterday was a good day. It was the start of Women's Month here at Kingdom South, which happens every May. As a pastor, I've learned to allow the natural calendar to inform the church calendar. We know Mother's Day is the second Sunday in May, and I've seen pastors massacre the moment because it snuck up on them. So we've been strategic about mapping our preaching, our programming, and our practices around ministering to women in the month of May. We started a series called Gender Wars. Now, when you hear that, you may think men versus women. That's not quite what we're going for. We want to speak to some of the challenges that are plaguing specific genders, because although we're all following Jesus, we're not all having the same experience. Some of the challenges that women face are different than the challenges that men face. Okay, let's deal with the elephant in the room. I'm not a woman. I've never been a woman. I don't have plans to be a woman. So I'm not sharing this from the posture of I know what it's like. I'm sharing this from the posture of observation. As a pastor, my work is people and patterns. So there are things that I've seen that I simply want to share with you today. Week 1 was called You're Doing Too Much. It's an urban phrase you hear people use. They either say that or you're doing the most to describe people whose personality or behavior is over the top or dramatic. But in my pastoral work, I've discovered that for some people, this isn't just a personality trait, it's a survival skill. What do you do when you're always the one who has to figure it out? What do you do when people drop the ball and you have to pick it up? What do you do when you don't get the luxury to fold? You have to find a way. And slowly, what started as survival becomes the standard. But I want to tell you, there is a better way. God doesn't just want you to survive. God wants you to thrive. Don't dismiss this as lofty idealism. We're going to get ready to get practical in just a moment. So hang out with me. Our foundational text in the Gospel of Luke, chapter number 10, verses 38 through 42, exposes us to two sisters, Martha and Mary. We don't know much about them, as the Bible only mentions them 3 times here in Luke's gospel and 2 times in John's gospel. But what we do know about them is that they are different. They have different temperaments. They grew up in the same house. They ate the same Cheerios. They watched the same TV. They argued over the same remote, but they are 2 different people. Martha is more confrontational. Mary is more contemplative. Don't take my word for it. Go back and read the Gospel of John, chapters 11 and 12, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So we're introduced to them here in Luke's gospel. There's a moment where Jesus comes to the house and Martha immediately jumps into host mode. She's moving, she's preparing, she's handling responsibilities, and she's making sure everything is just right for Jesus. Meanwhile, Mary sits at his feet and listens to him. As Martha keeps working, she starts to feel the weight of having to do everything by herself. What began as hospitality slowly turns into hostility. So she goes to Jesus and she's like, yo, you need to tell her to get up and help me. I'm doing this by myself. She in the kitchen. She got her apron on. She got flour on her. She got pies in the oven. She's doing all kind of stuff. And Mary just sitting over there chilling with Jesus. And she's like, tell her to get up and help me. But Jesus, being so Jesus, not only does he not tell Mary to get up, he basically tells Martha to sit down. This is what he says in verses 41 and 42. Luke 10, the Message version. The master said, Martha, dear Martha, you're fussing far too much and getting yourself worked up over nothing. Only one thing is essential, and Mary has chosen it. It is the main course and won't be taken from her. Okay, there's much scholarly debate around the meaning of this moment, but I want to contemporize and modernize this text. I think Jesus was trying to teach Martha to cultivate a very important skill that women in the modern world would need. And that skill is the ability to read the room. The ability to read the room. Here at Kingdom South, we're a definition church. So we want to be clear about what we mean when we use certain terms. Because there are people who, they could be saying the same thing that we're saying, but they don't mean the same thing. So when we say read the room, we're saying recognize what God is doing and align your life with it. Again, we're saying recognize what God is doing and align your life with it. Because if we're not careful, we can be so busy getting ready for the next that we keep missing the now. Eckhart Tolle says most humans are never fully present in the now because unconsciously they believe that the next moment must be more important than this one. But then you miss your whole life, which is never not now. Oh, that's so cold. That is so cold. I want to be clear about something here. I want to be clear because if you grew up in church, you grew up in Sunday school, Baptist Union, Vacation Bible School, you're familiar with this story. I want to be clear because some people use this text to create unnecessary tension between temperaments. I just told you a moment ago, two sisters, two different people, two different temperaments. Same TV, same Cheerios, argued over the same remote. Two different people. Jesus is not telling Martha to become Mary. I told you, Martha's more confrontational. If Martha got something to say, she coming to your face to say it. Mary is more contemplative. She's more quiet, more reserved. Jesus is not telling Martha to become Mary. He's not rebuking her personality. He's not rebuking her wiring. He's not rebuking her desire to serve. Martha's impulse to prepare, to host, to make space wasn't sinful. Hear me. The problem is not that Martha is active and Mary is attentive. The problem is that Martha missed the moment. And I want to lean in here. Because there's some of you who are listening to or watching this, and if you're honest, you have missed some moments. You've gotten to a season in your life where you got enough life behind you to recall moments where you missed the moment. Stuff you wish you could have back, decisions, money. And I want to let you know, listen to me, I want to let you know it's not over. I was watching a men's conference this past weekend, and one of my mentors was talking to his pastor about some of the challenges he was navigating as his youngest son was getting older. And his schedule had kind of picked up, so he was doing a lot of traveling and just trying to navigate through career and parenthood and all of the things that many of us are trying to navigate through. And he said, my youngest son really caught a lot of my travel schedule. So I just wasn't there for stuff. So you really start to feel bad. It's like, what do? I feel like I'm losing him. I feel like I'm losing it. And his pastor said to him, make the turn And if you make the turn now, he'll remember the turn. It's not that he's going to forget all the things that have happened, but if you make the turn now, he will remember the turn. Hear me, those who are listening or watching, and you feel like you've missed some moments, make the turn. Maybe you're a parent and you feel like you didn't necessarily do the best job. Make the turn. Make the turn. If you still got childhood left with them, make the turn. Maybe you're listening or watching this and your children are grown now. So you really feel like you missed the moment. Make the turn. Be a better grandparent than you were a parent. Maybe career-wise, you feel like you missed the moment. Make the turn. Maybe relationally, you feel like you missed the moment. Make the turn. And I believe if you make the turn, what people will remember is the turn. So Martha missed the moment, but Jesus is trying to teach her a very valuable lesson. The problem wasn't the task, it was the timing. And I want to offer a simple statement to help us to combat this tendency. This was the point of the whole sermon. I learned years ago, if you can't summarize your sermon succinctly in a sentence, then you probably don't have one. Let me say it one more time. I learned a long time ago, if you can't summarize your sermon succinctly, you probably don't have one. There needs to be one big idea that you've built the entire thing around. Here's it for me. Here it is. Here was the point of week 1 of Gender Wars. Everything doesn't need to be done. Everything that needs to be done isn't yours to do. And everything that's yours to do isn't yours to do right now. Let me give it to you again. Everything doesn't need to be done. Everything that needs to be done isn't yours to do. And everything that's yours to do isn't yours to do right now. So I want to give you 4 things, and I want to wrap up this recap for the week. 4 things to help you put this into practice. Yeah, we're Formation Focused Church. We serious. We don't just want to hear the words. We want to put them into practice. That's what makes you wise, not simply hearing it. We've all heard sermons, teachings. We all got notebook full of notes we did nothing with. It's not the note taking that changes your life. It is the application of the notes that you took that actually changes your life. So I need you to lean in right here. If you're on your lunch break or you're somewhere where you can take notes, these will be 4 good things to write down. If you're not, then this is on wax, so you can always come back and take the notes later on. Number 1, if it's yours to do right now, do it. Yeah, sometimes you got stuff going on. It's your responsibility and it needs to be done right now. Do it. Don't dance around. Don't play around. Do it. I was talking to one of the pastors on our team about something that's really become a mantra for me. It takes what it takes. It's a book written by this performance guy. He's worked with a lot of NFL, a lot of professional athletes. It takes what it takes. Here was my take on that. It takes what it takes. Now you can decide not to do what it takes, but you can't change what it takes. And sometimes it's your responsibility and it needs to be done now. In those instances, do it. Number 2, if it's yours to do, but not right now, delay it. If it's yours to do, but not right now, delay it. It's like, okay, I'm going to have to do this, but I don't have to do it right now. Yeah, I'm not avoiding it. I got to do it. Just not right now. Delay it. Now, I would encourage you to do intentional delay. So when I say intentional delay, because there's a thin line, because some people would use this as avoidance. Intentional delay. Here's what I mean by intentional delay. I didn't even put this in my sermon, so you're getting something exclusive here on this recap. Intentional delay. Here's what I mean by intentional delay. Decide when you're going to decide. Intentional delay. Decide when you're going to decide. So it's not just putting it off for the sake of putting it off, because that can easily turn into avoidance. Decide when you're going to decide. Okay, you're not going to do it now. When are you going to do it? Tomorrow, next week, next month, next year? When are you going to do it? Number 3, if it's not yours to do, but it needs to be done right now, delegate it. Sometimes there are things that need to be done right now, but it's not yours to do. Delegate it. AKA, get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. And then number 4, if it's not yours to do and it doesn't need to be done right now, drop it. Now that's pretty self-explanatory. If it's not yours to do and it doesn't need to be done right now, drop it. Here they are, real quick, once more. If it's yours to do right now, do it. If it's yours to do but not right now, delay it. If it's not yours to do but it needs to be done right now, delegate it. If it's not yours to do and it doesn't need to be done right now, drop it. As you're listening to this, I want to give you some homework. It's the same homework I gave our church yesterday. I know some of you are listening to this or watching this and you're not a part of our spiritual family. You got homework too. Your homework is to make a list of all the things you're doing and separate them into these 4 categories. Do, delay, delegate, drop. Do, delay, delegate, drop. Now, when I say make a list, I'm talking about things and people. Yeah, because sometimes people belong in these categories. There's some people that you're trying to help that could be helped by someone else. Some people you're trying to help could be helped by someone else, which falls perfectly into that delegate category. Because sometimes they need help. You just not the one to help them. Delegate it. I just had a training with our ministerial team talking about how God has wired me as a leader. You know, as a founding pastor, it's different because much of our church's work is tied to my work in the sense of the way that I understand my call and all of that has a direct impact on the church because the two are intertwined. So I was telling them just how God has wired me. I'm big on assessments and those types of things. I tried as best I can to be self-aware. I don't want to be clueless about who I am. And over time, I've learned language to help me articulate who I am to those who have to deal with me in any capacity so that I can let them know what they're potentially getting themselves into. So I said all that to say, as we're talking, I was telling them, I'm just not a hand holder. I'm just not. I wasn't raised that way. My grandmother was a disciplinarian. She loved me. I knew she loved me, but she didn't play no games. So she taught me not to play no games. So I've always been very matter of fact. Anybody who's known me growing up, I've always been, serious, matter of fact. I can be silly and all that other good stuff, but when I'm serious, I'm serious. So I've never been a hand holder. In the ministry space, in the corporate space, in the coaching space, I've never been a hand holder. So people who need their hand held have to work with somebody else. Here's what I've learned. Here's what maturity taught me. Maturity taught me not to minimize their need just because I'm not wired to meet it. Did you hear what I just said? Maturity has taught me not to minimize their need because I'm not wired to meet it. I'm not trying to get you to not be needy. I'm not trying to get you to not need your hand held. I just recognize I can't hold your hand. So you got to work with somebody else. Delegate it. And then there's some people, you just need to drop them. Now, when I say drop them, I'm not talking about in this just dismissive type manner. But there's some people that season has run its course. There are some people, every solution you've offered them, they've rejected. Every option, every alternative you've offered, they've rejected, and you're continuing to spin your wheels. It's time to drop it. So that's your homework. I want you to put everything you're doing, the people who are in your life, all of that, I want you to put it in one of these 4 categories. Do, delay, delegate, and drop. All right, that was week 1. You're doing too much. I'm looking forward to a really great month. Week 2 is coming up. One of our elders is going to bring the word on Mother's Day, but I'll be here for the recap. Really looking forward to a good time, as the church folk would say, in the Lord. As we wrap up this week's recap, I want to reaffirm my commitment to the empowerment of women. Whatever influence God has given me, I want to use that influence to raise up people who can carry out their call in a way that adds value to the world. And I believe much of that is going to be within the context of empowering women. So I'm on it. I'm committed to it. I'm grateful for the ladies that we have who occupy leadership roles at Kingdom South, whether it be operational leadership roles or ministerial leadership roles. I want them to know, and I want you guys, the podcast audience, to know how grateful I am for them and how committed I am to their growth and development. There's some churches out here who still on that women can't do certain things. Kingdom South, we don't believe in that. Now, we're not interested in getting into arguments with people who believe differently than we do. But here, for us, we're committed to the empowerment and the growth and the development of women. All right, that's all I have time for this week. I got one ask of you. It's the only ask I'll ever ask of you, and that is, if you got any value from this week's recap, would you send it to somebody else? If you were listening to this or watching this and you said, man, I know somebody who needs to hear this. I know somebody who needs to see this. Just hit the share button. Just send it to them. Help us help more people. Until next time, this is Kingdom South Plus, where we work the words of Jesus beyond Sunday.